everyone. Almaguin Highlands Secondary School's Tartan Theatre program has had yet another successful year despite the countless challenges we have faced due to COVID 19, our extracurriculars being in jeopardy due to job sanctions, and of course, our unpredictable weather along the way. Due to our current circumstances with school closures and COVID 19, the tough decision was made of canceling the Ontario National Theatre School Drama Festival for this school year. However, this did not stop our Tartan Theatre from pursuing a final performance. We reassessed at the beginning of April and began online read throughs and rehearsals. Our group has worked exceptionally hard, and we continue to be grateful, though slightly frustrated at times, by technology advancements allowing us to perform on this very peculiar theatrical platform, online, social distancing style. To our audience in this very unusual situation, if there is any technical issues throughout our performance, you may hear myself or Miss Green's voice to direct the and crew of what will be happening next. Also, another note, just as a warning for all our viewers, some of the images and stories of this play describe war in a graphic nature and are not recommended for small children. The Refugee Women, written by Don Zalitas and adapted by our group, was not only up on its feet prior to our school being closed, but there was an unquestionable energy and support from all of our community. Above all else, there has been an unforgettable, diverse nature to the play and the powerful perspective it presents to our audience, exploring themes of injustice, resiliency, trauma, and uncertainty. Hassan Al-Ali and his family have helped us articulate the play and circumstances they faced from leaving Syria and arriving to Canada. From teaching us Arabic, singing and adding music to our play, to helping us create authentic costumes, we appreciate all of their generosity and positivity despite the stories they had to share. We trust that our staged, fully costumed version of this play would have allowed you to feel what we did from the Al-Ali's participation. But nonetheless, we know, for us, this play will never be forgotten. The Refugee Women is a play within a play. Women and children at a refugee camp we researched in Sarakam, Turkey, coming from as far as Africa and Iran to Syria and Greece. The endless, hopeless days at the camp end up bringing them together to put on a play of The Trojan Women by Euripides, a play based on the aftermath of the Trojan War. The frightened women now share their traumatic past with each other as they focus on what their future may hold. Without further ado, our show must go online. Please have patience and do your very best to imagine our performance of The Refugee Women.
ما بنسلم حالنا لليسوع الملل بنحقق آمالنا بالجد وبالعمل بالجد وبالعمل
ما بنسلم حالنا لليأس وللملل بنحقق آمالنا بالجد وبالعمل. ما بنسلم حالنا لليأس وللملل بنحقق آمالنا بالجد وبالعمل.
نحن مثل هالناس عنا صف الناس عنا العلم نبراس نضوي بنور الأمل بدنا نمحي عتم الليل نعمل معجزات مهما ذقنا هموم الويل وعايشنا الآهات لازم نوصل ونوصل الأفكار ما بنتراجع أبدا مهما صار نزرع جدو بالأسرار ما بنحصد فشل ما بنحصد فشل.
Lift up your head, lift up your eyes. Rise, woman, look around. Troy is no more, and I am no longer its queen. Queen of nothing, queen of dust and mud. Rise, get on your feet. What good is it to weep over your loss, spill tears over your dead, your husband, your child, your country, all dead as if they never existed? So what will you do now, queen of nothing?
Night, when it rains, it sounds like gunfire. For a moment, I forget where I am, and I am home, and they are coming.
Get up! Get out of the street! Everyone out of the street! Now!
But then, I wake up, and I am here, and it is only the sound of the rain on the tin roof. The days were empty in the camp. I missed school, having a place to go where me and the other girls could talk. But here, there was no school. There was nothing to do, so...
Claire, an aid worker, steps forward from the chorus.
It was Promise's idea for the play.
I sing of fabled Troy, greatest of all cities, vanished and dead.
So what will you do now, queen of nothing? Weep forever? No. Lift up your head and curse the day they came to us in their ships over the dark, shining sea. Chasing what? A woman? All for this one woman? No. They came for their pride, their greed as sharp as any weapon, and my city is nothing but smoke now.
I heard you, Hekiba.
Are they coming for us?
Tell me they aren't coming.
They are coming for us.
And what will happen? Will we be taken?
Who will stop them? You? You. Have you weapons to fight them?
Die before they take me.
You say that.
I mean it. If one of their men touches me, I'll cut his throat.
I'll fight them with my hands.
I'll claw their eyes out or die. I'll end my life.
Perhaps you will. Or perhaps you'll decide that life at any cost is worth enduring. When we find ourselves face to face with fate, who knows what we will do? We are cowards, all.
Actually, it was Claire's idea for the play. She's an aid worker. It was. You said, let's do Trojan Women. And I said, I have no idea what that is.
I don't want it to be silly.
Just because it's called a play doesn't mean it's silly.
I want people crying at the end.
Why would people come see a show if it's going to make them cry?
Because then it means something. And because I'm acting in it, I want them saying, ah, she was so good. What's she doing here? Where's Hollywood?
You're not going to Hollywood.
You never know. Dream big. Look at this.
What am I looking at?
I'm acting. Yes?
That's great.
Hollywood loves this face.
Do I have to speak?
No one has to speak.
We'd like you to speak.
I'll just stay quiet then. Just make the movements.
So we begin to rehearse. We read the play, we learn the lines.
You're forgetting the boys.
I am, yes. Anytime a group of girls starts to do anything.
We've talked about it, and we want to be in your show.
No, it's a girls' show.
You can't just have an all-girls show. That's stupid.
It's about women. It's in the name. The Trojan Women.
You aren't women. You're girls.
You can do your own Trojan boys play, if you can sit still long enough.
Actually, we need some boys. Play the Greeks.
Who are the Greeks?
The villains.
Fine. The boys can be villains then. But you have to listen.
I want a sword.
I want a sword.
We will fight all
Hey,
of
stop
you.
fighting.
So we meet every day and we think.
Can this tell my story?
Can this tell my story?
Can this tell my story?
When we find ourselves face to face with fate, who knows what we will do? We are cowards, all.
They are cowards too.
They are, but there are more of them. And a pack of jackals is braver than a single lioness.
Are we to be slaves then?
I don't know, girl. All I know is we are ruined.
My brother is dead.
My father too. My friends.
Now we are left to them.
Talthabius enters, dressed as a Greek.
You know me, Hecuba. My name is Talthabius, and I have often sent messages to you from the Greeks.
What is it then? Are you so frightened of girls that you carry your swords? What are you afraid of? That we will tear you apart? Where do we go?
You are to be separated, a different man for each.
What?
What?
No,
Coward.
The Greeks have won the war. Your men are dead, and you will come with us.
Do you think we're prizes?
Women, please. I am only the messenger.
You are one of them.
I tell you what I can. This is the way of war. The winners sing songs and triumph.
Tell me then, my daughter Cassandra, where does she go?
She belongs to the king.
She's a virgin. She belongs to God.
Your God has failed you. She is the king's now, and it is for her purity that he wants her now.
And what about me?
You are slave of Odysseus.
I was queen here.
No more.
What are you doing? They would say to us. We are learning our play.
My father said it's a waste of time.
What is Troy anyway?
A city destroyed by war, by lies, by treachery, by men, thousands of years ago. Turkey.
We came through there.
Perhaps you saw it then, or where it was.
And how did the war end?
The Greeks built a horse. They built a giant wooden horse and said, "We're giving up."
They're liars.
Yes, well, yes, they won through lying. The Trojans brought it inside the city. They all celebrated and got falling down drunk. And at night, the warriors crept out of the horse and killed them all in their sleep.
They shouldn't have taken in the horse.
Right.
These are the people that wrote the story, the killers.
They were all killers. Everyone. The Trojans were killers too.
They were defending their home.
So we're going to town if all the Trojans are dead.
I heard the cries. The singing turned to screams. They came from their hiding place, killing us. Their weapons scarlet with blood. Headless men in their beds, never waking. A smile of victory on their faces. Young men, our brothers, our friends, our husbands.
Look, Hecuba, it is Andromache.
Andromache enters with the armor of Hector, holding her baby in arms.
With her son, baby of Hector.
Most sorrowful of all women. Where do you go?
Where they take me.
Courage, Andromache.
Courage? My husband had courage. They didn't let me bury him. They strapped him to a chariot and dragged him around the city. His body was torn by the rocks and they tossed him in a ditch. Then gave me this. Did it help you, my husband? Your armor and your weapons and your dreams? I am left here with your son.
You must be strong now.
Why?
Have strength.
You must have strength.
What do any of you know? The sorrow is mine.
We have all suffered, but
you have endured nothing.
My 3 sons are dead, killed by the Greeks. The finest boys.
I'll make a fire and set myself in it.
That is not the way.
Feel the flames on me. I'll join my husband in the world after this one.
Please, Andromache.
Driven like cattle, enslaved to evil men, I will not bear it.
You have no choice but to bear it. Your son needs you.
Better he not grow up than grow up a servant of these dogs.
Elethabius and soldiers enter.
What is it now? Haven't you tormented us enough?
I will not speak with you, woman. You are much changed, Andromache, since last we spoke.
Go to hell.
This is not my doing. Please, do not hate me.
What do you want?
I need your child.
He goes with me. He goes with me to my new master.
He will not.
Why?
He will never know a master.
What do you mean? Speak plainly if you will speak.
He must die.
You cannot mean what you say.
Odysseus says he must never become a man. He will seek revenge.
You speak truly?
They will throw him from the wall.
Soldiers approach for the baby.
Where will you go? Please, give him to me.
He's not 4 months old. He was born in this war.
And he will not know of it.
What's wrong with you? An infant? You would kill an infant?
It is not my doing.
You serve him. It is you. If you are the servant of evil, you are evil.
I am doing what I was ordered to do.
Coward. Cowards. You think this baby will destroy you? He cannot walk or speak. He cannot hold a weapon. Is this the great threat you see? You mighty Greeks who rule the seas and burn down our cities while we sleep. This is the righteous way dictated by your gods? No, no, give him.
What would you do? Fight us?
I'll kill you myself.
One woman against an army? Be sensible. We will give his body to you for a proper burial. If you fight, his body will be fed to our dogs.
Andromache.
You won't know.
What can you do?
Let me say goodbye at least. Or does that frighten you as well? I thought you would be king. You want to hide, little bird? Shelter under my wings? Don't cry now, you little thing, dearest to your mother. How sweet the fragrance of you. Your finger around mine. I would have loved you your entire life. Grown proud of you, cheered you, seen you grow strong. My eyes will never behold what you could become. You are merely a beginning, and there will be no middle. Let me kiss you a final time. Your mother cannot save you. No one can save you.
Soldiers take the baby away.
Come now. Take him to the high wall.
Brave men, brave warriors.
Wish it was not this way. I take no joy in these orders. I am not responsible.
No one ever is, are they?
We put up signs. Come see the show. Our mothers made costumes from what they could scrap together.
The boys made swords.
Of course, the boys made swords.
I don't think I'll have a costume. My mother's gone to look for work and
It's okay. We'll find something.
I don't want to be a burden on the show.
You aren't, okay? We'll find something.
Can I ask a question? What was the war about? Why were they fighting?
Pride. The Greek king's wife was with a prince of Troy named Paris. The Trojans had to pay. That's it.
Andromache, lift up your head.
The gods pile their sorrows on top of me. When the Greeks come back, I'll force them to kill me.
No.
I will not give them the satisfaction of living for them.
You won't live for them. You'll live for you.
His Highness, Menelaus.
Menelaus, the king, enters.
The sun shines brightly today. My wife will be returned to me. 10 years gone and finally with her husband once more. This ordeal is at an end. I came here not for her, of course, but on principle. To repay the wrong done to me by that thief Paris. Men, go into their huts and pull Helen out by the hair. If we have good wind, we'll be home soon.
Menelaus,
What do you want, old woman?
you don't recognize me? I suppose my sorrows have ruined face as well then. I was queen when this city stood.
I know.
I beg you, when they bring Helen out, kill her.
No mercy then?
Don't even look at her. If you meet her gaze, you'll be entranced again. She brings death and nothing more.
You speak against me, Hecuba?
Do it now, Menelaus. Run her through and rid us of this curse.
Very
My
well.
husband, please.
I have not seen you in 10 years, wife. I slew a city to behold you again.
I am innocent. Let me speak.
Innocent. You bathe in blood, woman. But let her confess her evils.
I make the decisions here, not you.
If you remember our love, please.
Tell your story then.
You may not believe it, but this is the truth. I am innocent of the crimes that she lays at my feet. You might as well blame Paris's mother for giving birth to him. Your fate was sealed when he entered the world.
You would blame the prince of this city.
I do. It was the gods themselves that decreed this slaughter. It was Aphrodite, that vain, fickle goddess who needed Paris's admiration.
Nonsense.
She did. 3 goddesses approached Paris.
Who told you this?
I know the truth of it. I live the truth of it. They declared that he would judge them, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. Which was the fairest? Aphrodite promised that if Paris chose her, he would have the power to seduce any woman he wished.
Why would Athena enter a beauty contest with Aphrodite? And what does Hera need with Paris's judgment? She's married to Zeus.
Vanity, pride.
You say all this to absolve yourself.
You asked her to speak. Now let her speak.
Your Highness, this is madness. She would have you believe that.
Let her speak.
Paris chose Aphrodite. She gifted him with her charm, and he chose me. It didn't matter to him that I was wed to another, that I'm an honest, truthful woman. He plucked me like an apple from a tree, and her wicked magic, it stole my mind. How can I be blamed when I am stolen by another man? When I am tied in a boat and imprisoned amongst strangers? When my heart is twisted by the curse of a goddess? Your enemy is Aphrodite, my lord. She loved Paris, and you've torn her city down. Bring me back to Greece, and I'll love you as if the last 10 years never existed.
Witch, did you fight him? I did not hear shouts or cries of rage from your bed. You went with him. You seduced him. You were the one who liked his fine looks.
I had no power over my own mind.
When we were winning the war, you clung to my son like a vine. You showered him with kisses. You called him a hero. We knew that you were the cause of all of this, that our brave men were dying in the field to support your lust. But your honeyed tongue kept whispering in Paris's ear. Your fingers looped into his. Let the men die, let the Greeks die, let the Trojans die. Only give me my love. And now you concocted this fable of a magic curse. The only curse began on the day you were born. Menelaus, she is beautiful, but her beauty is matched by her wickedness. Kill her now, and let me watch so that I might have some justice for my dead children.
Kill her!
Punish her!
Justice!
Helen, you have been unfaithful and deserve the punishment I will give you. My men have stones in their hands. They will deal out the justice.
No, please, I'm on my knees. Please don't. I love you.
You are nothing to me.
Then you take up the stone. If you are the wronged man, cast the first stone at me. Bash in my head. But look me in the eyes while you do it.
Don't listen to her.
We could live as if this war never was. Take me home.
Put her on the boat.
Where's the justice?
Kill her now, my lord.
How many of us here have lost our loved ones?
You do not rule here. I will take her back with me to Greece, and she will meet her fate there.
What fate? You said you would strike her down.
And I will.
If you get back on that boat, she will seduce you again.
Enough. There has been enough blood.
Because it has been our blood. Our blood, not yours. You have never shed enough of our blood. Never in the 10 years you waged war for this witch, and now you have...
Let's go.
Cowards! Pigs in the shape of men!
I tore down your city.
At night, while brave men slept. Now, you kill infants, you kill women, you kill children. You think a sword makes you strong. You have taken everything from me. Take my life if you want.
John draws his sword. Hecuba takes hold of it.
Go on then, king. If you have the heart of a man and not the heart of a pig, do it. Run me through. You've already slaughtered a baby today. Why not end the life of an old woman?
You belong to Odysseus. I will not destroy his property.
Soldiers exit to ships.
Has any of it changed? Has the world grown up since then?
Are we the same people?
I don't know. Maybe that's why we tell the stories, so we know what happened.
Know what?
What's come before, so maybe people will learn not to do it again. That's what the play is. The ones who couldn't speak, the people who were trampled by the winners. We keep telling their story. It gives us strength.
Does it?
I hope so.
Will it tell my story?
They will carry me away overseas in their ships.
What will happen to my children?
My dead husband.
I hope we die on the way. The ocean will rise up and destroy us. Lightning will crash into the ship. I hope to see the men scattered, bodies everywhere. I long to see them drowning.
Telethobius returns with the body of the baby.
Mother, your child is here.
You mock me. I am no longer a mother. You have seen to that.
They threw him from the tower as one might pitch a ball.
My child lived when I gave him to you.
There are mothers in Greece whose children have died here as well. They cry out for vengeance.
Do they? Can you hear them? Do their voices carry across the broad Aegean? None of us wish our children will find glory in war. We hope they live.
This is the way of the world. Some die and some live. If you wish to bury him honorably, I'll have him returned to you.
Honorably?
Lay him on his father's shield. Dress him in funeral garments.
Don't tell me what to do with my child.
Very well. Soon, we will set fire to the remains of Troy. Level it to the ground. Then, you belong to us.
The Greeks begin setting fire to Troy.
They burned my village too.
Mine too.
Fallen from the sky. The park where I used to play as a child.
The whole thing on fire.
Torn to pieces.
Tell your story. We'll put your story in.
Tell us your story.
Like these women told their stories.
We needed to go to a different city, a different country, away from Syria, where things had become too dangerous. Because of the government, we were searching for safety. For 2 years, we tried to find work. I needed work to feed my family, but life was very hard. Life was very hard and difficult. We needed to know the language, and we were starving. We thought to go to Turkey to work, to feed our family, and the military was in needed to soldiers in Syria, and I didn't want to be a part of killing people. We tried it. We tried to travel. We tried to travel to Turkey, but each time the military will catch me and throw me back to Syria. The last three times we last 3 times were very dangerous. They were killing the boys who were caught. But we had our mother. Thanks God, because the military took pity on us. You see, if the boys got cut. If we didn't have people, our mother will beg for our freedom. One time I had a gun pointed to my head, and my mother stopped them from killing me. You see, the man was thinking of three mothers, their wives and children, and they will sometimes let us go. We finally got over the board. We were crossing at 6 a.m. It was cool. They catch me and throw me back. They were burning the grass and wet in the fields to keep the ground hot and burning. But at noon, we moved to the highway, middle of the highway, in the middle of the day. We had military behind me and the police ahead of me. And the police in Turkey took our family into an office. I am a refugee. We needed to be treated like a human, not like animals. Did we fight? Had I picked up a gun? Had I killed anyone? Never. We spoke just Arabic, and they were speaking just Turkish. And if you spoke Kurdish, I could learn fast, and I was young. I could learn through watching and tried to learn Turkish and Kurdish quick. Learn Turkish and Kurdish quick. And now English. I needed to learn so I could tell my story, our history. Our parents were hard, best to make. I am feeling nothing. We listen where we grow up, but also missing the Syria of best. Apologize a lot when I making mistake. When I making mistake in English. When people hold on the door, but I never give up. We didn't give up. We were hoping. We are together. Safe. No one was hurt. Not all the world holds a door for everyone.
My village burned. They set bombs. So we left. We crossed the Sahara in a pickup truck. 3 families together. In Libya, we were robbed. Built from Tripoli in a boat. Some hulking, rusted mess. 40 years old. Crossing back and forth. They crowded us on, packed in. You couldn't turn around. We stood on the edge and heard the seagulls and the lifting of the waves. We bucked and bucked and bucked. The engine gave out somewhere in the middle. You could feel it. The whole ship shook. And then the noise of the engine vanished and it was silent on the water. People said nothing. We were listening for the engine, but we couldn't hear it. All we could hear was the waves slapping against the side of the ship and the seagulls. The men running the boat sent out a distress call. We stood. What else could we do? There were hundreds of us. on a boat meant for 50. What do you do? With each minute, you know what's going to happen. You may die here. The longer this takes, the more of us will die. We looked around at each other. Who are the strongest swimmers? What do we do with the babies? Kept looking out at the water. There were babies crying, women trying to stand, the sun on their heads, the breeze coming off of the water, seagulls circling. There was nothing out there, just the flat line of horizon. How long would we float? How long before we sank? Of course, we knew there was a risk. We knew people before us who had died. But most made it across. Why not us? I don't know how long the boat drifted. They kept trying to fix the engine, but it didn't start. A lot of us had never been out on the ocean before. Every direction you looked, water. The whole world was water. The sky blended in with the sea, and we were a tiny point on a huge planet, and we were tiny people about to die, and no one would ever know. The sun was going down when we saw the rescue ship. We must have been there 10 hours maybe. People started shouting. They started moving towards the side of our little boat, pushing. There were too many people pushing. Someone was shouting that we were going to capsize, but you couldn't stop them. There was nothing to hold on to except other people, and they were falling too. You felt the whole ground beneath you drop, and the water rush over your feet and up over your knees. And then I was in the water. My mother was next to me, my brothers. People were trying to get a hold of anything. A man grabbed me and pulled me under the water to keep himself afloat. I could feel the legs wrapped around me, kicking me, pushing off of me. I don't know how I got my head up. The water stung my eyes, and then I felt someone's hands grab me and pull me out of the sea. There were lights all over the water now, and the men on the rescue ship were throwing out life preservers. There was a moment when I didn't know if my family was alive or dead. And I thought I was alone in the world now. They'd all been near me when we went to the water, and there were so many people still in the sea. They were alive. My mother found me. She saw me go under, and she didn't want to come out until she found me, but they pulled her out anyway.
How does the story end?
The play?
How do we finish it?
In the play, the men burn down Troy.
And?
And the women go.
I have another idea.
Set fire to the city. Let your men level it to the ground. Nothing of Troy will remain.
The whole town is burning. The city is vanishing.
They're driving us out like cattle, taking us away from our homes.
Troy will be forgotten.
Our story is ended.
No. Lift up your head.
Lift up your head.
Lift up your head.
Lift up your head.
Lift up your
Lift
head.
up your head.
Lift up your head.
Rise, woman.
Rise,
Rise, woman.
I sing of fabled Troy, greatest of all cities, vanished.
But remembered.
I sing of Aleppo.
I sing of Mosul,
I sing of Baghdad.
I
I
sing of
sing of Homs.
I sing of Kabul.
I sing of Yola.
I sing of Maiduguri.
I sing of Baja.
I sing Deir Zor.
Lift up your
Lift
head
up your
Your
head
head.
And
and
stand.
Stand.
Lift up your head and stand.
خلي بالك ولا على بلادك على جارك على أولادك يا سوري فتح عينك ربي نصرك ويعينك يا سوري فتح عينك ربي نصرك ويعينك على وين الناس مودينك ولعن رضاك وارض اجدادك.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Allison Green. I am the drama teacher at Almagwin and the director of the Refugee Women. I originally worked on a production of the Trojan Women when I was in high school. I played that Hecuba character way back then. I also did a rather true to the original Euripides production at the old Almagwin Highlands in 2010. And what a difference a decade can make. Today's women of Troy, our refugee women, are now named Hadiza and Mercy, Hawazin, and Hassan. This play had so much promise. Our costumes and sets, our projections, and authentic language and song. It held the promise of telling the story of new Canadians at our school. How could we have possibly predicted that COVID-19 and quarantine would keep us away from our school, our rehearsal, our beloved NTS festival, each other, and a typical audience? But we thank you for tuning in to our virtual production. On behalf of the entire cast and crew, I must thank Hassan and the Al Ali family for helping us better understand why this story, the story of so many refugees today, needs to be heard. I personally would also like to acknowledge the graduating students of this production, including Hassan, but also Corey and Griffin, Brianna, Samira, and Dawson. This was a year and a project that we wanted to tell together. And I hope that we all remember that during this time of isolation, anxiety, and the unknown, we still came together to tell a story that could not be left untold. I hope that all of you all approach your future endeavors with the tenacity of an untold story, with the passion of a story that must be shared, and with connection and inclusion with all of your goals. To our Almagwin community, moms and dads, families and friends, teachers, administration, and the community that buy our tickets and help with fundraisers, please know that I and all of the staff at Almagwin hope you are safe and healthy, and we cannot wait to share our plays, our ideas, and our stories in the future. As the 2019-2020 Tartan theater season comes to a close, thank you all for your support.